Hello everyone, this is Natasha Telger, and today we are talking about the Customer Support Center account management tools. And so I want to go ahead and start out with kind of a little overview instead of jumping right into the tools. And then we'll go ahead and take a look at how those work and so forth. Okay, so for starters, some of the benefits to using the account management tools would be that you can add new partner accounts directly into the system, and you can manage your partner accounts and their access to the Customer Support Center tool. So those are two really big areas that we've had feedback. You know, we have a lot of requests for updates to accounts, to managing those accounts, and this tool gives you the power to do that for your organization and for the people that you have access to. Also, based on the the Customer Support Center that you have been added to, you'll have access, or those accounts will have access to reports that are associated with that particular Customer Support Center group. So one of the things that I want to stress whenever you're adding a partner to Illinois workNet is it's really important that, first of all, their information is in the service finder, because we use those the service finder as kind of like the backbone, the mechanism for organizing and our partners. And so each of our partner accounts needs to be associated with an organization. And then it's really important that our partners are associated with an organization, because we want to make sure that the people that are with that organization have access to the right level of information. For one thing, all the information should be, kind of about, what they have access to should be related to that organization or any other areas that they've been given access to. But that's the starting point, is to make sure that they have access to their own organization's information. Also, whenever they, we're adding an account, we always want to make sure that when a partner is added, we verify the information, and when an account is associated with that partner location, that we verify that they really do work there, they're still working there, that type of thing. So having them associated with an organization helps us with ensuring that those partner accounts are still, they should still have access to the appropriate level of information. So once you have your partner account identified in the service finder, and once that service finder account, or the partner organization has been approved as a partner, and the primary or secondary accounts have been approved as partner accounts for that location, then you automatically have access to the user management, account management tools. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and show you those tools just in case you haven't seen them or you're not 100% sure what I'm talking about. If you go to the menu, go to Network and Connect, you'll see the Service Finder. And so once you're in the Service Finder, you'll log in and you can do add and edit locations. Now, you're going to see a lot of locations in here because I'm logged in as myself at the state level. If you are just, just joining us and you don't have your location in the Service Finder, then you can submit a request for it to be added, or if you already have a location in here, you can click edit, and then you can edit that information under contacts. You can have the primary and secondary contacts to be added. Mute the background noise there. And then, so anyway, when I talk about a primary and secondary contact for our service locator, this is what I'm talking about. You go to the service finder, service locator, you either add a partner or you edit. If you're already in here, you can edit and you can identify people to be either the primary or secondary contacts. Once they're in the service finder and they're a primary, secondary contact, and they've gone through the process of, we've verified that they really are a location, a legitimate location, and those people really do work there, and it's approved, then you can have access to the user account management tools. Okay. So I can't stress how important this is to, at least for starters. This is the basis for everything. The other way, if you're already a partner and you need to have access to the service finder, you can go to my dashboard, and under partner tools is a service finder admin tool, and it gives you the same view. It takes a little while because I have so many sites that I have to have listed, but you'll see those. It's the exact same tool. It's just a different way to access that information. Okay, so let's go back to our overview. So again, it's important to be associated with an organization. Once you are associated with that organization and approved, you have access to manage not only your information in the service locator. Actually, I should probably change that to service finder. You can manage, you can add staff, and you can manage accounts for that location. Part of managing those accounts would be recovering passwords for partner accounts if they needed to. We also have a password recovery, just like every other site does. But this is something that when you have access to those partner accounts, you can also recover passwords. Whenever you're part of this service finder as a primary, secondary contact, you can also be part of the process for ordering the NOCTI 21st Century Skills Assessments for your customers. And then it's also important because whenever you're using the Customer Support Center tools, there's messaging features that are available. And the organization that you're associated with is also part of that signature that goes with that message. So again, I just can't stress the importance of being associated with the right organization. So once you have access to user account management, then you can give other partners access to different types of groups. So it may be as simple as you're just adding staff for your organization, totally fine. It may be that, as we move forward and we open up the option for you to add different types of groups besides your personal group, that would be this would be the tool that you would use to add them to those types of groups. Or if you're already part of a special project, then and if you have access to that, to give people access to those groups. For example, in the Community Youth Employment Program, we have a variety of partners, and they can have access to this group so they can manage the people, their staff that, as they onboard people, as they, people move into different areas within their organization, they can adjust who are the appropriate staff to have access to that specific subset of customers. So this is another thing, how you use these tools and who can provide access to these tools. I'll go ahead and mute the background noise here. Okay, so I've gone on quite a bit with this. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the tools. So what I'm going to do is, in order to get to the user management tools, you go to My Dashboard and you go to the Customer Support Center. This is the production. I'm going to give you a demo on our test. So you click Customer Support Center, but I'm going to go ahead to test because I already have that up. So whenever you go into the Customer Support Center, those that are familiar with it, looks just like, you know, it always does here. Along the top, you'll see dashboard, groups, and this little head icon is user management or account management. We've been kind of using those interchangeably. So you click on the icon up here for user management. And one of the features that we've added is that you can add a partner to a group, okay? So it doesn't matter if your partner or your staff person already has an Only WorkNet account. What this is going to do is you're going to enter in the basic information that's required, and then you're going to search for that person. So if they already have an individual account, or if they already have a partner account, that's okay, because it's not going to create a second account for them. What it's going to do is ask you if it's the right, if this is, you know, is this the right person, yes or no. So let's just go ahead and put in a name. Let's do, and a phone number, and an email. Try to keep them shorter. And then a zip code. And then I'm going to select to add them to a group. So this person right here has, this is my test person that has access to several special projects. And so that's why you see a variety of options here. You may have just your location, and that's fine. You know, just to show you the example that we're going to use today, if you just have just your location, that's fine. You just click on it, and that they would add them. You know, in this case, would be to this high school. For today's example, I want to show you if you're going to add them into a special group. So I'm going to choose CYEP, and I'm going to hit search. And let me see something real quick here. Okay. So I hit search, and it says, you know, for Ben James with this birth date and this email, that no account has been found. So the way this works with matching up to accounts is, first of all, it's going to check on email. And if the email if it doesn't find something with an email, then it's going to take a look at the first name and the last name and the date of birth. So based on those fields right here, it's going to see if there is an account. And if it finds one, it's going to say, you know, is this the right account? You would say yes or no. But in this case, it says no account has been found. Would you like to search non-active accounts? So yes, I want to search non-active accounts. And it says no account information has been found. Would you like to create one? So we say yes. And then what it's going to say is, does this account need to have access to view or manage this organization's staff? So whenever you see a little info bubble, it's a little bit more information to explain. So if you say yes, that means that they have the ability to add and remove staff for their location. If you say no, then they're only going to be able to see the reports and customer information. We're just going to say yes. And then we're going to add the partner. So whenever this happens, it shows you the username and password. So we're just going to screenshot that right now, because I'm going to show you what it looks like to log in as them in just a moment. And we'll get rid of that one because that's an old one. Okay. So now I can close this. And if I hit James, it says processing. So it's going to look for my people. So I see Ben James, and I can see that they have been added to the system. If I click on, I'm going to open this in a new tab. I can open up their information and look at the different groups that they're in and look at more detailed information. But if I wanted to be like, oh, darn it, I didn't realize that I forgot to also add them to this other school. I can add them. They say, oh, a match has been found. Is this the right one? Yep, that's the right one. We'll just say yes, and then add partner. Oh. So let's go ahead and get this. And so actually I'd have to refresh my page here. And then you'd be able to see that, well, I should have just hit the search button. Hit the search button instead of refreshing the whole page. And then you'll be able to see that now that Ben has been added to both of these groups. So let me go ahead and you got a little background noise here. Let me mute that. So you can see I had clicked on the tab before I added them to the school, but you can see, let me go ahead and refresh this page too, that Ben has been added to the group. So whenever you go into the details page, you'll be able to see the different groups that they're in. And yeah, I can see I have the high school here and these two groups. So when you selected to add them to the CYEP Austin People's Action Center, you'll see that that's called an authorization group. And you don't need to get too wrapped up in this, but the idea is that what it did was put Ben with this particular group, because it says that Ben is in the CYEP program for this particular location. And then you'll see, you're like, wait a minute, I didn't select this, this other group. Why do we have 3 here instead of, 2? If it's with a special project and you put them with this level of detail with the special project, it's going to automatically add the project group. And it does that automatically, so you don't have to do multiple steps. So the only reason why I'm going into this is if you say, I only selected 2 groups, but you see 4 here. Well, the reason why there's 4 here is because the system automatically puts them in the other groups that are needed in order, based on how you answer the questions. So if you need to work with Ben to reset his password, you can do reset password and so forth. So let me go ahead and pull this up so I know. I'm going to log in as Ben. So I'm doing this on my other screen real quick. James 1 JMES 052474. I'm logging in. This is tests. I'm logging in as James. Hopefully it's not timed out since I haven't had it moved for a little while. Okay, so now that we're switching over to what it looks like, if you add a partner, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, so when you add the partner and you say, okay, Ben, I added you, now you can log into workNet. You give them the username and password, they put it in, they log into my workNet. They're going to be prompted to fill in any extra information that you did not add in there. So we'll fill out the required fields. So zip code, date of birth, I can say, yeah, that's correct. Yep, that's right. My email's right. My phone number's right. Okay, what's your favorite name of your favorite pet? We'll just put dog. One of the things that I really stressed at the very beginning was that we need to have somebody set to their organization. And so one of the updates, I just noticed this recently, is that it wasn't automatically adding them to the organization. So we will be making an update. So whenever you add a person in directly, then it will automatically update, it'll be part of the process where it adds their organization in there automatically. So don't let that stop you. You're still welcome to use the tools, but just know that that update will be coming. And then the person will see what types of groups they're in, and they can hit save. Okay, we'll just hit OK. So once they hit OK, then they're redirected back to the tools, and you can see now every time that Ben logs in, he'll go ahead and see the CYEP Community Employment Program and have access to all those tools. If Ben doesn't have a personal group, you can hit create personal groups, and then that allows them, it goes through the prompting process of you can invite customers, view customers, and so forth. Let's just go back to groups. And whenever we go back to groups, then you'll see that we have our Community Youth Employment Program plus personal groups. Again, as you add Ben to more and more groups, then they will be displayed in the view. So I mentioned that this also gives the person access to the appropriate tools. So once they're added to a group, then they have different, dashboards, have different reports. And so those, again, are all based on whatever's associated with those particular groups. So if they're in a special project type group, then they'll see that listed here. If they're in just a general Illinois workNet, what's available through the Customer Support Center, then they'll see Illinois workNet, and those are the types of reports that they'll have access to. Okay. So that's the view from Ben. So let me go back to the view from the partner. And one of the areas that, as far as the next steps is concerned, it's really important to make sure that the partners have, that you are only allowing partners who have, who are active partners to have access to the partner tools. So we encourage you to include this into your existing onboarding and offboarding process. That way, when new staff come in, you can just easily add them into the system. And whenever they either leave for another organization, or maybe they are just, maybe they're part of a special project, so you would want to review the information. Once they switch off that project and to do something different, you would just change what they have access to. So if the person is no longer working with the Community Youth Employment Program, you could take them off of there. If you just remove them from a group, then they still have access to the Customer Support Center tools. But if you change their account from to remove their partner account status, it will, so it says remove partner account status. What this will do is completely remove their access to partner tools, but it'll just change their account to an individual account. So they can still access Illinois workNet. They just can't access the partner side of those tools. So in order to do that, that's one of the features that we've talked about that needs to be updated. And so you should be able to see that update in within a month. We're going to be updating the tools to add a details page here. And that way you can update their organization if their organization location changes, and you'll be able to update some of their account details, and you will be able to change them back to an individual account from a partner account back to an individual account. So that's our overview of the tools that we have currently for account management, user management, and Illinois workNet. Expect to see those updates in the near future, and then we can provide another overview webinar of those updates to these tools. So thank you very much, and everyone have a great rest of your day.